in the front of the jet where the camera was almost attached to the fuselage, right in front of the intake manifold, in front of the, if that's what it's called, on the jets. That's what that shot looks like. And when I saw it, I was like, whoa! I mean, just absolutely incredible. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to play the trailer in its entirety. The audio you heard when I opened up the podcast this week was actually, I did a quick edit. I just kind of spliced and shortened it up. So I'll play it for you in its entirety so you can hear everything. And then we'll go back and we'll play it again, and we'll stop and I'll commentate on not so much the shots, but more what's being said in the trailer. There was a couple of key moments in here. One of them, when you'll hear the exchange between Finn and Rey, the look on Rey's face. I mean, you know, that's the one thing about, and I heard Christian Harloff talking about this today on the Collider movie news. You know, it's the one thing about actually, it might have been on the Jedi Council. The one thing about George Lucas was that he didn't really pull what needed to be pulled out of the actors. He wasn't great at that. J.J. Abrams is, and you can tell, man, that they crafted all these shots and every word and everything that's spoken. You know, I've said this a bunch about J.J. Abrams. His movies, for me, are the type of movie where every single frame and every scene matters to the film. There is so much careful thought and consideration into every single bit of film footage that goes into every frame of that camera, that it makes his movies that compelling. And when you apply that to a Star Wars film, I mean, come on, bring it on. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Here is the complete audio of the international trailer that dropped about 7:30 this morning Mountain Time. At least that's when I saw it. To do that when mom and dad and.
Who are you?
I'm no one. Where do you come from? I know all about waiting. For my family.
I will fulfill our destiny. I will finish what you started.
I don't know your name.
Finn.
I'm right. There are stories about what happened.
The Force. It's true. All of it.
Hope is not lost today. It is found.
My Nerd World.
You can't bring on December 17th any faster based off of what we have seen of this movie. I just absolutely incredible. And again, the dynamic of not expecting it and seeing it drop just completely out of the blue was cool. You know, it was actually, I thought I'd never forget watching the trailer during the Monday Night Football game, and now, you know, this was such a much different experience that I don't think I will readily forget, you know, what happened watching this full trailer for the first time. And this is such the cool part of all the fandom. It's the run up to this movie, and what makes it so much fun in playing the waiting game. And as I covered a couple of podcasts ago, this is the first time we're going to go through all of this. All right, speaking of going through all of this, let's run through the trailer. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll run through with the edit to keep it a little bit shorter. I trimmed off about 30 seconds from the actual 1 minute and 53 second trailer. So let's run through some of this, and I'll provide some commentary. And I'm going to go into spoiler territory here, so just letting you know. But I'll provide some commentary and some thoughts on what I think it is we're hearing from this dialogue. So here we go.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
Okay, now in this opening shot, you see Rey, and it looks like she's either gearing up or touching her head. I mean, she looks like a teeny tiny Jawa standing in the shadow almost of the main engine of the Super Star Destroyer that you see her working through at the beginning of the full trailer, the other full trailer. Just looks teeny tiny. It really evokes the image. It reminds me a little bit of Planet of the Apes, to be honest with you. The scene of where the ship had crashed, with all those pieces, that were weathered sticking out of the ground. But I mean, it just looks a lot bigger than that. And again, this is what we believe is the beginning part of the movie, where you see her learning how she's isolated and scavenging, and being a scavenger on Jakku. And you hear Maz Kanata again, who are you? I'm nobody. And the opening of the trailer is much like the first one after this shot, where you see her looking off in the distance with this starship rising out on the horizon.
Where do you come from? I know all about waiting. For my family.
That right there, I'm going to back it up a little bit. So she runs into BB-8, and I stepped on it a little bit, so let me back it up just enough so we don't hear.
I know all about...
Here we go.
Where do you come from? I know all about waiting. For my family.
Okay, so she finds BB-8. Obviously not that taken aback by seeing a droid. Where do you come from? And almost as if she understands the BB-8's language, which I don't find too surprising. I mean, Luke Skywalker understood R2-D2 for the most part, right? I don't think he always had to read the screen on the X-Wing fighter when R2-D2 spoke. I think he somewhat understood what was going on. But the part of that there, I understand all about waiting. And it's obviously a chopped up line combined with other things. I understand all about waiting for my family. That was a gut punch for me. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to back it up and play that again.
Waiting for my family.
Okay, so we'd heard a rumor that she had been left on Jakku by her family, and that she was afraid to leave because she was waiting for her family to come back and rescue her. Okay, who's her family? I'm leaning... When I first heard it, my instinctive reaction was Han and Leia. That was my instinctive reaction. And that this is going to be somewhat of a brother-sister tale, adding to the dynamic of families that we didn't really get into in the first film, apart from Luke and Leia, right? That this was going to be a brother and sister film, and that perhaps she went to the academy at a young age. Luke was training a new Jedi Academy before the Knights of Ren came out and wiped everybody out. She escaped. She's lost her memory. Doesn't know who her family is. They've hidden her identity because they know how powerful in the Force that she is until the time is right. I mean, if that's the case, it echoes A New Hope almost perfectly. If she's Force sensitive, if she's Han and Leia's kid, or if she's Luke's kid. Now, the thing about her being Luke's daughter really complicates things a bit, and so it's easier to go the Han and Leia route because that's easily explained. it makes a little bit of confusion because we haven't seen anything in the trailer that would indicate that Han is Rey's father, but then again, he may not be telling her. Now, here's another facet to this, and I don't know if I got into this on the last podcast, but let me just throw this scenario out. Again, spoilers. We know she gets off of Jakku with the Millennium Falcon. You've seen the footage in the trailer of the Millennium Falcon piloting through the Star Destroyers. That's how she can do it, because she knows the layout. She obviously is proficient to fly, spaceships. And Finn is on the guns, and you can see in the trailer that the red lasers firing back from the Millennium Falcon on the TIE fighter. So those two are escaping. When she leaves Jakku, we believe that she gets captured by a giant freighter. The giant freighter belongs to Han and Chewie. So the question that I've always had about is how in the world did Han and Chewie end up above Jakku the moment that his daughter stole the Millennium Falcon and took off in it? Unless they knew the Millennium Falcon was there. Unless Princess Leia sent Poe, which we know she did, to Jakku to recover what we believe is the lightsaber, knowing her daughter was there, knowing that Poe gets captured, and knowing that there's probably going to have to be some type of intervention. Perhaps, just maybe, Han Solo and Chewbacca were the ones that were sent to go pick up Poe. Or perhaps Leia sent them there, knowing that the disturbance in the Force had taken place and that Rey was now going to be mixed up in this. That's the only way that I can, unless for some reason, Han and Chewie happened to be in the region and knew that the Falcon had taken off and they've been looking for it. I mean, that's the other part of it too, is that they could have been looking for the Falcon and they knew it was on Jakku, if indeed Rey is not any type of lineage. But that brings up the question too, that if she is Luke's daughter, then does Leia not know that she's there? But again, my instinctive reaction of, I'm waiting for my family, that to me indicates a mom and a dad. That to me indicates that that's what she's looking for. And the other part to this too is that in the description of the trailer, it mentions that, through the Force, Rey goes on this adventure. It all but confirms that she's Force sensitive. One, we kind of assume that. Two, in the synopsis, it also talks about how she learns lessons of with her family and of loss. And knowing what we know later in the movie would extrapolate on that more. If I had to put money down at this moment right now, I'm going with she's Han and Leia's daughter. She's Force sensitive the way that Luke was Force sensitive. Kylo Ren is the son that went astray, may not even realize that Han is his father. Let's get back into the trailer.
I will fulfill our destiny. I will finish what you started.
All right, so you got Kylo Ren with a little added dialogue till the I will finish what you started, but this time it was I will fulfill our destiny. Now that seems rather to have some connective parts to it as well. It's not I will fulfill your destiny, I will finish what you started. I will fulfill our destiny. So does he know that he is a direct, descendant of, the Dark Lord of the Sith, the baddest of the bad?
I don't know your name.
Finn.
I'm Rey.
That introduction is spectacular, by the way. The way that she says, I'm Rey, you can already sense a connection between the two of them. We know now that Finn gives himself his own name. There was some speculation, FN2187, that maybe she identified him as Finn, but now we know that he identifies himself as Finn, probably based off of the FN2187. And we know that they don't know each other. So in the moment they meet on Jakku, from the moment they fly off the planet, they never even have an opportunity to share each other's names.
There are stories about what happened.
The Force.